It's yours truly, DJ Hans. Living it up. A ver. And nobody is here because I'm the best. I got the shit show and I got the S on my chest. You like that one? What's going on, party people? It's DJ Hans. This is episode 8. Y aquí estamos. Aquí estoy. With a lot of stuff that's going on. And I'm hoping that I'm going to get some people to go ahead and talk to about this, because, things happen. Things are happening. And, as things happen, you notice things are changing. Minds are changing. I think I had it pretty on point when I was going to go ahead and say that COVID is caca, that it's not such a real deal, that it's a boogeyman. It's something that has been created for some other reason, or it's not, it was obviously created. China made it, but beyond the fact that it was created and maybe got loose on its own and, it could have been, something crazy. A pandemic, it was not. A pandemic, it is not. Even though, yes, it's got numbers, just like anything else in the world has numbers. Things happen and people get sick and, we never overreacted, but we did with this. It was perfect timing. Political year, crazy president, right after a black president, they had their beef and all these, things are happening. And then you get a pandemic, which, it's great because what scares people the most is, it's not that war coming from a person that maybe you could control. It's that other thing, that doesn't listen to reason. It just does what it wants to do. And that's, usually a virus, things of that nature. So that's what's going on. And, we got crazy about it. People lost jobs. Things have disappeared. And I don't know what happened now. People coming up with crazy stories. You could go boating and stay on your boat, but don't go to the sandbar. What the fuck is that all about? I mean, come on. I want to understand some of the reasoning. You could go to the pool, but once you get out of the pool and you're going to sunbathe, you got to put on your mask. Even though there's already a social distancing of 6 feet, you can do everything, that you do when you do it. But after 11 o'clock, you got to stop doing it because the virus is going to come at you. It's such a fucking boogeyman. And that's my whole concern, is that it seems to be, a made-up rule. Like, somebody's just sitting around, gathering ideas and saying, well, what do you think about this? And should we, say this? Should we say that? It can't be taken seriously if it isn't put out seriously, if it isn't put out with fucking facts. Even if you don't have facts, and you got to come up with something better at least, make it more reliable, understandable, more filled with common sense, not this fucking putty shit, that, is out there. Come on, man. So I'm not down with that. And that's, the problem that I'm having. And, I've had it since the beginning. I respect the world. So, you do your part, to not dishonor the older and the people that say, they come with experience and knowledge and stuff like that. You want to respect, you want to be respectful to your elders, to more knowledgeable people. But when you hear, people that, are with degrees and shit like that, and they come up with, things like, saying, don't jump onto the sandbar because that's going to fucking make a difference, or close up at 11, those kind of things. You're like, come on. Now you are a fucking professional and I'm doubting you. I'm fucking doubting you, the person that went to school for this. So, do you ever stop in your profession and say, I'm talking nonsense or I'm just speaking what they're telling me to speak and making myself sound stupid? Is that what, we do? Come on. So, before, I go ahead and get this show started, I just wanted to go ahead and kind of like, blah, let that out because, man, shit. What the fuck? It's almost a year and we're still fucking around like we're idiots. We're walking around senseless, and the ones that are asking questions and, debating the facts, we're, calling them, what do you call that? Just, I don't even have the word, lost the word. But, those are the, basically help me out if there was anybody. But what's up? What's up? If you're joining the show, we're about to get things started. I was just ranting about this whole pandemic and bullshit. And if you're on, let me know. Let me know who you are, where you're at. If you're on YouTube or if you're on Facebook, send me a shit so that I know you're on there. Hate to be alone. I don't like doing things alone. But, today is, I'm going to call it my first show by myself. Even though last time I had callers and stuff like that. But let's do this. Here we go. Look at my head. It's the DJ Hans Shit Show! Yes! Episode 8. We're fucking real. We passed the test. We're past number 7. That means you can't fuck with us now. That means that basically it's legit. And, come on. You can't get more legit if you have a sponsor. All Purpose Solution Incorporated. That's my boy Andy. He started off with me right almost from the get-go, so I like to say that, that's my boy. He's also a DJ, so being a DJ, that really makes him my boy. He's family. He's blood. So what's happening, everybody? It's Monday. Fuck Mondays, right? Fuck Mondays. What do we do on Mondays? We fucking play catch up on work and life and all that other shit. What do DJs do when it comes to Monday? We watch fucking TV shows. We let me see, what else do we do on Mondays? We look at our bills. We see how much money we spent while we weren't working. Let me see what else. I go deposit checks from parties and shit like that. Because some people still pay with checks. Yep. Big shout out to Yeti containers. God damn. Yeti 100% badass shit that keeps your drinks cold or hot. Cold is even more incredible because I fucking put in my Yeti glass or cup, whatever you want to call it, Yeti container at night with ice cold water, and I wake up in the morning and the ice is still there. Fucking amazing. Love technology. It's just awesome shit. But yeah, that's what's going on. So yeah, shout out to Yeti. They don't sponsor me, but maybe one day when I become a big boy and I have people watching my show, I will then say, hey, Yeti, give me some of that Yeti. Not spaghetti. No. Let me not fuck shit up. So yeah, this is, by the way, at the new studio. Yeah, I'm just straight up fucking jockeying Joe Rogan. I do whatever he does. Next week I'll be in Texas. Nah, I'm fucking with you. But no, this studio is a whole lot better. Why? Because it's got love. It's not made by somebody else. It was made straight up 100% by me. Testing shitty mics, running bad cables, putting up wall fucking soundproofing, all that shit done by 100%. So yeah, everything you see here, including the little fun lights, It's all by me. So yeah, I'm kind of proud of myself. So yeah, that's what's going on with that. And so here we go. What happened this weekend? All of a sudden, I get a text message from Piazza Italia, which is, my money maker, the one that helps me survive. Let's call it that. And they're like, hey, we're going on 100%. And I was like, what? I hadn't even heard the news yet, but I'm like, what? 100%? That's fucking amazing. Amazing. I was so fucking tired of that half-ass. Listen, we're still kind of like, we're not in 100%, but we're getting there. It's phase 3. We don't know what the fuck it really means. That's and by the way, that's one of the topics that I wanted to talk about. Phase 3. Sounds fucking amazing. Phase 3. It sounds spacey, and it sounds like something you would see in some fucking movie about the end of the world, and we're going into DEFCON 4, phase 3. So yeah, we moved from phase 1, which was fucking do nothing, stay in, don't come out. Phase 2, which made it come up to 50%. Woo, exciting, fucking exciting. And that's the shit. Oh wait, we got a hello. Hold on. Antonietta. What's happening, Antonietta? Thank you for joining. You're special. You're like, you popped my cherry today. Even though I had Andy earlier, but he was just there to harass me to make sure I put on his sponsorship because, he pays the bills. So that's my boy. Tropical. But hey, Antonietta, what's happening? How are you? So yeah, now we're on phase 3, and I don't even know what it exactly means because it's like it goes back and forth from fucking government, to local, to you could do this, but you can't do that. But if they said that you could do this, doesn't mean that they're going to do that. And there's a fucking little argument between fucking DeSantis and this other guy, whatever. It's like politics fucking annoys me because it's a game of children, of fucking children that don't want to grow up and want to play God with regular people's lives. Because these guys that, get into politics, maybe they weren't always rich or something, but most of them were. But they like control. It's the only reason why you would want to get into politics. There's no, in my eyes, let's say it. In my eyes, it's just something that you get into because you want to run people because you've never been able to run people, or you just love that power trip and shit like that. And, you want to say, hey, this is how I'm going to be able to do it. So you get into politics and, then you find out that you could, fucking make money in politics by doing shit that you're not supposed to. And, then you get crooked and ruined. And next thing you know, you're running for president. So that's the situation with that. And, don't even know where I was. But basically, these guys are all fucking fighting and, don't want to give out stimulus checks and complicate everything. And I don't agree with you and you don't agree with me. And then we're going to hold back a little longer and, take it back and further. And while all that's going on, we, the regular people, are taking a fucking shit and not collecting proper money. What I like to call self-made money, hard-working people money, people that have fucking jobs, especially in the service industry. It's one of those things where you feel you work the hardest, you actually do something for people, you work for the man, and, you're being fucked over by the government because they want to play games, because they want to act childish, they want to push each other around and show each other how they have more control than the other guy because you poo-pooed on some fucking bill or some shit, And listen, I'm the last guy to talk about politics because I don't know much, but what I do know is the common sense of it. And you can't give a fucking game to these people. It's like, no matter how you put it, it could have been a Monopoly game. that kid was going to play like an asshole anyway. And that's what they do. They play like assholes. And they're like, you know, you could have bought those 3 fucking different properties and, you know, it wasn't going to be much. But that asshole is running. He's fucking going over there to buy your property so you can't fucking put hotels in it. And that's what I'm talking about. You know, just fucking with you. Because they want to poo-poo on your shit. Everybody enjoys poo-pooing on the other guy. It's a hobby. And I see it a lot on Facebook and, you know, well, just Facebook. It's most of my friends. You know, but it's like that. People are not really helping each other. When they're helping each other, it's nice to see. But most of the time, it's just trying to screw each other over and, you know, do shit like that. So, you know, that's what happens. And, you know, taking it back to, you know, my reality. So this weekend, I finally get to DJ for a crowd. I posted the, you know, images on Instagram and Facebook. If you want to check them out. DJ Hans Miami. And man, we are fucking packed. And, you know, as I am, you know, basically going on live and stuff like that, I notice somebody called it the COVID Club. I'm like, come on, man. You know, we're just opening back up and you're already stirring the shit. Why? Why do you have to fucking shit on business that's surviving? Listen, this place, while everybody was taking a dunk and having to close down, held their pants up and said, we're going to stick around. And they allowed people to keep working. And yes, okay. You know, like everything, you can't control sometimes the crowd. People will take off their masks. You know, they might have a couple of drinks extra, start hugging each other and shit. Can I tell you something? I don't care. You know why I don't care? Because if they care enough to want to hug each other and they know that they could die from it, then that's what they wanted to fucking do. At the moment, if later on they complain, they go, oh my God, we got COVID and now we're dying because we hugged. You know what you did when you did it? Just like you smoke cigarettes, just like you drink alcohol. You're a fucking adult. Do what the fuck you want to do. And if, you know, it's going to, you know, kill you, then, hey, whatever the fuck. You know, okay, and I get it. You know, you don't want to kill children and stuff. They said the kids don't, you know, even get this shit. It doesn't give it, you know, it doesn't happen like that. It, you know, yes, the old people. I get it, old people. You want to live. I want you to live. I have a mom. You know, I have, you know, old people around me. I'm getting old. So, you know, it could happen to me too. But it seems to be that it's not happening like that. And it seems to be that it's not as fucking powerful as people were making it out to be, this fucking super China fucking bug, whatever the hell COVID is. I just know that one thing is a fact. It's not that exciting. Fucking AIDS, HIV was exciting. And I don't mean it in a positive way. I just mean that was scary. You saw people that were dying from something that it just came out of nowhere, and it was really just pulling people apart, you know. And you know, it was real scary. It wasn't like, oh my God, we got a super flu that's giving me a fucking cough that's killing me, and because I smoked all my life, or because I have fucking cancer already in the lungs, or because I never took care of myself, oh shit, it's gonna kill me. That's like saying, you know, you're not a healthy person and you choose to go into the Amazon and go on a trek or some shit like that. Why would you do that? Why? You're not healthy. Most likely you're going to I'm not going to go climb Mount Everest. I know my lungs are not going to handle that shit. My shit will probably make it to the fucking the parking lot where it says here is Mount Everest. And I'll be like, whoo, that's too much already for me. So, man, no, I don't think so. I know my boundaries, and I know when shit happens and you know, you're taking a chance and whatever. So, you know, it is what it is. And, by the way, today, later on, and I'm not sure exactly when, but later on, we're going to have Mr. Gray, one exciting DJ that I've been following for a while. And, you know, not for anything, the kid's got great skills. I've heard his mixes. I've heard his remixes. I've heard his tracks, you know, and he obviously great. You know, he produces very nicely, great work. comes up, man, he hands them out like fucking hotcakes. Like, he comes up with those things quick. And, that's pretty impressive. So, there's lots of things that I want to talk to this kid. I want to, get into his brain as from one DJ to another to, help maybe the industry understand, what it takes to get in the biz and where did he come from? What got him to where he's at now? Because sometimes you see DJs and you're like, wow, they just blew up out of nowhere. And there might have been a game going on for years that you didn't know about. There could have been 10, 15, 20 years of service, of due diligence put into the game, and you just heard about him now and think, man, this guy just bought a fucking, you think he just bought turntables and got popular. Most of the time, it's not like that, everybody. Unless you're Martin Garrix or some shit like that, where you're a fucking 10-year-old, with skill. Then. And still that kid, did a lot of little teeny bopper parties before he actually got good. So even he did. But yeah, Mr. Gray, TODD Gray, works, or for however it works, he DJs at 11. I saw him the other day at a pool party. Clean, impeccable sets. Good choices in music. I definitely liked. So yeah, definitely want to know what's up with, with his career and how's it going and how it's been impacted and all that. So we got questions for you, Mr. TODD Gray, 50 Shades. And he's got family. He's got kids, which is another great thing. It shows you that it can be done. A lot of people, that want to get into the biz, they talk about it and they're like, no, but it's the late night and I can't, and family. Oh, I need some fucking coffee, man. This is usually the time when I go into my sleep mode. Either I go to work at this hour and I just kick that shit, or then I get sleepy early and I'm probably in bed before 10. Hold on. And I'd like to thank the other sponsor, wife, Miss Travel Candy, for making me iced coffee. Fucking amazing. Nobody ever makes me iced coffee. And it tastes fucking great. For anybody who wants my my secret recipe, it's the pilon on the little packet, and then just throw ice and cream from one of those creamers, any one, French vanilla. That one's really good. That's the one that she put in there right now. Oh, fucking amazing! So I want to know. I mean, who the fuck is on? I know I got two people over here. And I got two people on my YouTube. Oh, look at yeah, that's exciting. So yeah, that's what's happening. And so here's the thing. Now I get to start DJing back in the Miami scene. The Miami scene is I missed it, and it's funny how Fort Lauderdale and West Palm Beach and everybody else got to take over for a while. Because Miami, yeah, it's Miami. If you've ever lived in Miami, you know that Miami doesn't play by the rules of the rest of the country. It's like its own little fucking world inside. It's, we're only attached by a little tip. We're not fully connected to the United States. I'd like to say we honestly, if we could, we'd be an island. And I've always loved that the aggression, the fighting, the just the attitude. It's not New York because we're tropical, and the New York attitude is different. New York is one of those fucking things where they're just angry, but they're fucking up and fired up. We're more laid back attitude. we don't mind, like me. I'm fucking taking a little nap here and there. New York, you're fucking, I guess the cold makes you angry, makes you we do shit faster. Like when you gotta fucking shovel snow out of your car in order to get to fucking work. Listen, I don't know how you guys up north do that shit. And, want to wake up in the morning to a frozen car that you have to fucking get in there and fight the snow and all that shit. And do that, to me, honestly, hell to the fuck no. I've lived it, and no. That's not happening. So that's the situation with that. So that's, I like tropical. As a matter of fact, my wife is from Switzerland, born in Cuba, but from Switzerland, and she likes that Switzerland, concept and everything. But just like the rest of the world, we all still say at the end, "Fuck no, man." The beaches, the sun, the tanning, the easy, that kind of like slower pace life. Even though you get the pick me ups. Come on, tourism to South Florida is the fucking biggest, practically. Why do you think? Because we're holding on to something stupid or something? No, it's we got shit to do. There's a party. Yeah, well, there used to be a party, but when there was always a place to go. Listen, if you ever think about it, the only place that you could say at any fucking given time. Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and let me see. It's 3 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday night. Where can I go? Listen, usually there's a place to go. Now, maybe we're not right now, but we'll be back. We'll be back soon. And, to my DJ friends, that are still sticking it out, don't fret. Shit is going to come back. I'm not going to lie to you. If I could say one thing about this year is that it caught all of us with our pants down. In the industry of entertainment and stuff like that, and a whole lot more. But on top of that, it caught us by all these different surprises where we were almost made to choose a different. And well, a lot of us did choose a different kind of job, do something else. In my case, I started looking at what else I could do. I was a fucking delivery. I'm like, I'm a fucking dumbass. I'm a DJ. As much as listen, what I do is not easy, and not everybody could do it like I do it. And the ones that do it like I do it, or do it as good as I do it, or close to how I do it, those are the ones you see working all the time. Those are the ones that you see kicking ass, and that they bounce from club to club, bar to bar. They're always busy, and you're like, man, that guy, he's always DJing. How does he get all that work? How does he keep bouncing into from one place to the other 3, 4, 5 nights a week? Then private events. How the fuck does he do it? You know how he does it? It's simple. It's nothing complicated at all. It's called hustle, practice, and yeah, I love what you do. That's my way of doing it. I bust my fucking ass DJing, practicing when I'm not DJing, making sure I have the top shit music, whether I like it or not. It doesn't always have to be my style, but yeah, I get a lot of my stuff too. And reaching out to the fucking clients, making sure I show up on time, playing my best set, not playing a mix, not sitting back and smoking a cigarette outside while my equipment's playing some shit, that I gotta run back to. Listen, I've taken more gigs away from DJs that smoke or drink too much or don't show up on time because of the fact, that they're not doing what they're supposed to. You're a fucking DJ. Go DJ. Go DJ, entertain, watch people, see if their heads bob, see if they're happy about what you're doing. Give them a little nod. They give you a nod back. You're good. They look at you and they come up to you and request something shitty. Think about it. Is it shitty for you, or is it shitty for them, or is it a shitty choice, or is it you just don't like it personally? That's the whole thing about that. God, man, I should have gotten some sleep yesterday. But that's the whole thing about that, You bust your ass, you get the gigs. You don't overstep your boundaries. As a DJ, very fucking important thing. If I could share a bit of advice that a lot of you guys as DJs, guys and girls, don't take, is overstepping boundaries. Know your fucking place as a DJ. Listen, you could go ahead and talk to management here and there. Hey, what's up, buddy? How you doing? How's the wife? Oh, I heard about this. Yeah, sure. Oh, hey, cool. And then move on. Don't fucking sit back and turn this into a, hey man, every fucking week tell them how it could be better by adding this or taking that. Or, hey, I heard that, the bartender, was doing this, or, he's always hooking up with the chick. Dude, none of your fucking business. Don't get involved. Don't speak about shit that isn't yours to deal with. If it's about sound that is dead or something broken, share it with him. Let him know. Give him an ultimatum, about, or I'm sorry, not an ultimatum. Give him a solution. Sorry. Let him know, hey, this is happening, but I got a great way to fix it. And if, he responds, he responds. If he doesn't fucking respond, he obviously doesn't give a shit. And you take it down to the fucking ground and, or you choose to go to a different place because, come on, man. Do you really want to work in a place that doesn't, care if all your speakers are blown or something like that? Or you tell them, listen, I got speakers of my own. I can bring them. It's going to cost you this much money because your speakers are blown. You give them choices. You give them options. And, you move on with that. But don't turn it into a fucking everyday reminding him about the thing that if you hit him with it twice and he didn't respond, he doesn't give a fuck. So move on. And, this is something you guys need to learn how to do. Just stay back. Do your job. Just simplify. Don't talk to him about, oh, I got this great idea about, tomorrow, I'm going to come in and play a little bit more of this and that. If he hasn't come up to you about it, most likely he's just happy with what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. Make your sudden or subtle better choices of music. Just don't overstep your boundaries. Do the right thing. Entertain people, and that's it. Everything will come through usually. And if not, you like everything in the world, you're going to be moving to a different place, a different bar, a different club, because you do rotate, But I will say this. In my case, I've been a DJ for, like if you want to go back to the beginning years, of some of the places I could remember, like Gatsby's, I was there for a good 5-7 years. Fat Tuesday, I was there for 15 something years or so. I don't even know. Too many years to count. DJing for the Rock Burgers and stuff like that with Mark and Taco Craft and, doing their stuff. These guys, I introduced myself to the owner, Mark, back when he had opened up the first Rock Burger in the Himmershey. And funny thing is that, small story, he had just opened up and I had seen the place and I was like, man, that's a cool little tiny spot, because it's fucking tiny. But he turned it into this cool little quaint place where I would never even imagine putting a DJ in the beginning. Because I'm like, where would you even put them? There's certain places that you're like, I don't know. I love to be a DJ there, but where the fuck would I even go and play? It was kind of tough to imagine. But I was over at a place right next door called Sidebar. And I was DJing a few different places in Fort Lauderdale. I was also DJing for a while 95.5 and Boca and doing Blue Martini and doing Taverna Opa, everything that was Broward and West Palm Beach, and doing all these different places and working for the station, the New Times, Broward County. Basically had that whole contest thing, well, it's not the contest, it's just you name your top DJs, and I was nominated by the people as #1 club and bar DJ, which is fucking amazing. You add it up. It's not that the New Times thought I was, because sometimes I don't trust that. It's like when it's usually the magazine or the news, it's whatever the channel, it's usually a sponsor that pays for it, and at the same time they get nominated. Ooh, how did that happen? But no, it came from the readers. The readers said, "Nuh-uh, this is the guy," which to me I think counts for a whole lot more. It meant they really listened and they were on top of their stuff, and I was doing my job and I was entertaining, and man, it's good to hear that, a certain amount of people out there actually were paying attention to me. And, fuck, man, I could appreciate that more than anything in the world. And it had just come out, so I had the newspaper. I picked it up at Rockburger, I'm sorry, which they're not and they're any longer around, but they moved on to better things. And I ended up passing it over to Mark. I'm like, hey, just picked up, the the bar and club DJ of the year by the readers, and handed it over to him, and introduced myself and moved on. I didn't say, hey, I would like a job, can you fit a DJ? Listen, I knew it wasn't going to work out. It was not the right place. It didn't have the space. They were kicking ass with their food. Their bar was quaint and warm and happy, and that's fucking all you need sometimes to make it in this fucking business. So being that said, that's what happened. I introduced myself, kept on moving, and a great friend a few years later, after working at Fado, the one in Brickell, that place, he gave it to me. I gave him some great DJs and stuff like that. I moved it on, and then later on, bad story, but whatever. We move on from that. Then he moves on himself out of Fado's, and he gets to become manager over at Rock Burger in South Miami. And even before it opens, he tells me, pass by. I want you to check out this spot and tell me if you would like to DJ here. So I stop in, and by the way, this guy, his name is Rico. Rico and I, we go back to Iguanas in Kendall when I used to do a Friday happy hour. And, man, I fucking loved that place. It was amazing. Amazing spot if you remember Iguanas in Kendall. Wow. Fucking amazing, amazing fucking place. So, basically, that's what happens. He tells me I go check it out. I meet with another guy named Nick. Fucking Nick. Great guy. And I end up working there for about good 10 years practically, almost. And move on then with Taco Craft and stuff like that. And, tomorrow, Tuesday, which, by the way, I would love to see you guys out there. Tuesday, I'm going to be at Taco Craft back again doing Taco Tuesday, which fucking amazing. Let me tell you, if there's a Taco Tuesday, there's a few Taco Tuesdays, that I say I like to go hang out at. And by all means, I'm sorry, the one that's got it really going on with the right DJ. It's South Miami. And I'll be there playing that old school hip hop, that fun music. Those songs with the sing-alongs, the shit that that stuff that pops, the music that's enjoyable. Adding some 80s into it, some 90s, some new music too, because there's a lot of great new music, some good ghetto shit in between. Listen, one thing I love about DJing for Mark is that he understands one thing: entertain. It's a simple fucking concept. Entertain. You're not about being cool, showing people how smooth you are in your mix, or hey, look, I got the newest fucking jams. I play the coolest house music. Look, I love house music and I love playing it, but it's not the right place at the right time. You could drop it. I've done it and it's gone fucking amazing. But in the overall sense of the word, it's not like it's a built place for a bunch of house heads. So, we understand each other, and we go on the fact that make it a fun party. Let people have a good time. Let them and usually they won't even come up to me to request anything, because University of Miami kids are fucking amazing. Fucking A. Love you guys. You give me that availability to play whatever the fuck I want to play, and you're excited about it. You're excited about new, old. It doesn't matter. Doesn't fucking matter. And that's great to know, because you're open-minded. You're prepared for just anything that it's handed out to you, and that's amazing. I love that. I love me personally. I love going to a place And I love to listen to a DJ that's going to throw me all over the fucking place and show me how much he knows about fun music, about cool music, about different music, about any style. I enjoy that. That to me is fun. It's fun to listen to somebody else's way of thinking. And that's what we do, as a DJ. Sometimes, when we're allowed to, when they open up the reins and they're like, hey, go do your thing, do whatever the fuck. I don't fucking hold back. If you ever come and listen to my sets, you're going to find out that you're going to hear anything and everything. I call it, what is it that I call it? Fuck, I forgot. It's basically a mess of flavors, just a blend of 1,000 things where you're going to catch vanilla, strawberry, fucking chocolate, even down to your floor cleaner smells. You're fabulous for the Cubans. Just things that go and don't go together all together, but making them work together, making it flow. That inspires me. That keeps me going into a harder set and all that stuff. And that's what I look for when I even hire my guys, my DJs, which I have a few different guys that I work with, and I like to say, that my guys, either older or younger, they are well prepared. So I just sounded like Donald Trump. We're well prepared. And we know what we're doing, and we do our best because we are well prepared. We will get it done. Don't worry about it. Taken care of. So, now we're in October practically. Fucking October. Holy shit, it's October practically. How fast or slow for some people has this year been? How fucking crazy of a year. No other year will ever be like this year. Can I say I'm proud to say that I will have knowledge about what happened in 2020? Fuck. Bad or good news? It's news, and it's heavy. And, it's been heavy-hearted. It's been extreme. It's been scary. Like 9/11 was scary. Like 9/11 brought us tears, but also brought us together. And, this did somewhat the same thing. It brought us together, it brought us apart. It took us apart, I mean. It did a bunch of stuff. We saw craziness. We got a little sample of what it's going to be in Doomsday or the apocalypse or the zombie fucking rundown. It's going to be a shit show. There we go. That's exactly what it's going to be. It's going to be a shit show. And I'm afraid for my life if it gets bad. If it truly gets bad, I'm going to be very afraid for my life, because the first thing that's going to happen is your neighbors are going to all fucking turn on you. Everybody's going to be like, you're going to get your friendly ones that, hey, yeah, you have any food? We could trade each other. How about if we kind of like break our walls and, we live all in one place? I got guns and this. And then once shit starts running out, or, somebody starts trying to fuck your wife or whatever the fuck is happening, everybody's going to turn on everybody. It's going to be tough. And then it's going to be called what I love to say this world has always or should always be. Do you know what that is? Survival of the fittest. Survival of the fittest doesn't mean strong. It means smart. Could mean strong at a point, or sometimes using your smarts and strengths, whatever. Hold on. Where is it? Oh, here. For whatever I just said. So, it's like that. And, I could see it now. Just people running for the hills. Getting in their cars, running out of gas, killing the next guy for his car. It's just exactly like what you see on TV when you fucking, we're watching, fucking, what do the zombies, apocalypse shit, whatever. I can't even remember the name of the show anymore. And it's going on now. It's about to get started again. So, yeah. Walking Dead. Sorry. Fucking brain fart. So, yeah, like Walking Dead. It's exactly going to be the same way. And, maybe this little snippet sampler is giving us a taste of, how people react. Maybe this was all a test. Maybe this all was just a test to see how the government could control us and see how complacent we could be. Did the fluoride work? Is it strong enough to make us complacent? I did fucking wear a mask and stay home for a long fucking time. I didn't go fucking flipping out and, like they did in that other state where they took over the whole state with guns and shit like that. Now they found out that they would do that, so some places will. You got to find out what cereal those people are eating. That's what we got to figure out. What makes people tick, and that's probably what happened. Maybe that's what this was all about, and it just happened to be that it was during a politic, government change. I can't even think straight anymore. But basically, that's the whole thing. Election year. Thank you, Hans, for coming back. But yeah, maybe it all just happened in, it was a coinkydink. That's all it was, people. That's all it was, a coinkydink. So, what's going on beyond that? Are people getting back to work? I mean, I see traffic is busy again. I see, that this morning I was stuck in traffic again. Does that mean people are going back to their jobs? The ones that were maybe working from home? Because I'll tell you this much. Here's my take on working from home. So you work, look, like a good friend of mine's an architect, and he worked in a great office in downtown Miami, and he would commute to work, but he would commute to a job, where he would be working with fellow people, other smart, artistic, architectural design heads, that kind of think alike, speak alike, and they could sit there and grab a bite together after work, and talk about work or talk about other things, but like-minded. You get to sit in a cubicle and go, "Hey, Fred, what the fuck? What happened this weekend? Did you cheat on your wife? Shit like that. Whatever the fuck is going on. Hey, did you finally go to this place? Or how was the game? Oh, the Heat fucking won again. Holy shit." All that great stuff, that humans do. We interact. We're social. Even the unsocial ones, the not so talkative, like to at least, have a person to talk to. Everybody does. So you sticking me in my house where I already live with my family, and you're not giving me a chance to get away from that for a while. It's not that I don't love and everybody, should, but whatever. If you don't love your family, I'm sorry for you. But I love my wife. I love, my family. And, my son's kind of far away now. He's up in New York. But I like to come home. I don't like to stay home. I like to come home. I like to know, hey, babe, I'm on my way home. What are we having for dinner? Oh, no. Yeah, well, you know what? As a matter of fact, I'll pick you up. Let's go grab a bite outside. Or, hey, I'll bring something home and we'll just catch a movie. We'll see The Walking Dead together. Whatever. Fucking, La La Land. I don't care. We're going to see something together. And, I'm coming home. And you have missed me. I've missed you. Not this whole fucking, I work from home. I live at home. I can't go anywhere, but I can be home and watch movies and do work and go watch more movies and do more work. And everybody's wearing the same 2 items and shit because why the fuck should we care? Why even, we shave for Zoom meetings and shit like that. We're like, oh fuck, they're gonna catch me. Let me go ahead and fix the hair, or the fucking beard, for Zoom. Come on, that's not real life. Life, we need to interact. We need to bump into each other. I'm not talking about New York bump into each other. That's overkill. I'm talking about, less populated area bump into each other. That's a little different. And I kind of think that we all need that. And taking that away from us, living that life like that, that will take. Here's what I think would happen in such a scenario. If, for example, we were made to stay home, work from home, food would be delivered, Amazon would bring all the latest and greatest things to you. Fucking Xbox, you got all the fucking games in the world, and you're playing those virtual games, obviously, because what the fuck, you ain't out. You gotta go out somehow. So you're gonna go out into your virtual fucking little world. You're gonna meet your virtual friends. And you're gonna sit in your fat ass. Maybe not even fat, because by then you're only eating things that are created for your body and whatever. And you get on this little exercise machine, and you do your exercise just so you can stay alive, so you can be healthy enough to stay alive. Because ain't nobody gonna look at you. You're gonna have sex with your virtual girlfriend. She's gonna be Asian, since it's a popular thing now. Everybody wants to be with an Asian person. So hey, Asians, everybody wants you. Even Big Ed. Big Ed wants. Did anybody see that? Big Ed. I love Asian women. I love Filipino women. I love Korean women. Listen, not for anything. I like to see that the guy is so full of himself that he might even consider himself a hot guy now that he's popular. He's popular because he's weird, and because he says dumb shit, and because he had the chance to actually meet somebody through a TV show, and he's a fucking idiot. He's an asshole. He says the dumbest shit. He doesn't think about how he speaks or how he might insult someone. And he doesn't get the reality, common sense theory that, this woman who lives in, I forgot where, but lives in a very, very third world situation, no money. Home is made of paper, and it's not even a real home. It's like a storefront with a back with a bucket so you could take a bath. All this shit that you're like, what? It's tough. But you're going there to meet her because you feel that most likely you have no skill in the regular world of where you live to sweep that kind of girl off her feet. So you go to a place where necessity makes a choice, where she's going to look at you as papers, as get me the fuck out of here, as maybe give me money so I could buy things that I need or want and I cannot afford or will ever afford living here. So you are her escape, and you haven't figured that shit out because you're square. You look like you have no neck. You're a square. You're an Oompa Loompa looking kind of character. Actually, you're more like the that blueberry girl in fucking Willy Wonka. You got no neck and shit, and you're just totally fucking. And you're talking about the girl's breath or shit like that, and giving her a toothpaste, and saying how you're afraid to take a bath because there might be rats or things, or you have no windows. Fucking stop insulting people and fucking man up and do your shit, Come on. But, that's what he did. And, it's like now the guy thinks he's a popular guy. And I don't know, maybe there's somebody out there who's, going to go ahead and jump on that. Maybe. Oh, my goodness. Let me see what time it is. All right. It's 9:04. I think we're gonna be getting ready for Mr. Gray. And let's see if he answers.
Hello, sir.
Oh, you see? I'm almost fucking good. Yeah, man. Yeah. You see, I am like that kind of guy who is half old school and half new. And for some shit, I get it. And then for some other shit, oh, man, I'm like a fucking idiot. So yeah, that's
I'm
why.
the same way, man.
Well, that's why I called it
Huh?
the shit show, because all this would happen to me. That's a situation, man. So let me first of all, before I even get fully started, I want people, so if when they're listening to this and the whole thing, and they want to know more about you, where would they be able to find you, so that as we're talking and I'm getting to know you better, what links would you like to let us know about?
I mean, all my socials are at DJ Mr. Mistergray. During this time, I started some other stuff. DadJokeT-shirts.com. That's
What?
DadJokeTEE shirts.com.
So we're doing a side hustle.
I mean, you got to do something. I'm somebody that can't just sit around and wait. I waited long enough because I didn't think it was gonna be this long. Honestly, I thought it was gonna be a month and then we were done, but that just didn't happen.
Well, the funny thing is that, as it was happening in the whole thing, I kind of like kept up with, your social, Facebook and stuff like that. I've always seen you around. I don't know you personally, only I guess because in your case and in my case, you're working. Well, usually you were working. And, when you work, you don't have time to go check out other spots and see what else is happening, which is something, we love to do as DJs, because you want to hear other guys play and see, different sides to the mix, and, what other songs you're not, hearing and stuff like that, usually. But when you don't have time, when you're actually busy and you're booked and you're working weekly, you don't have that time and you don't get it. And I think that, somewhere along that, I was busy, you were busy, and I always kept seeing things, and I'm like, man, I would love to check this guy out, and never ever got to, and then pandemic.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a blessing and a curse. It's kind of a catch when it comes to that. Like,
yes,
you want to get so busy that you're making great money and your career's taking off and everything's great, but at the same time, it is extremely valuable to go and listen to other DJs.
It is. That in the it's been a while now, but when I started going back to saying, let me make one day out of the week where I'm gonna go listen to somebody. Believe it or not, it made my sets stronger. And it's not necessarily that I'm saying, oh, I heard this guy, so I'm copying, what I heard. But no, it actually just made me feel that I needed to work harder, because I was listening to guys kicking my fucking ass, doing things that I'm like, wait a fucking second, it made you kind of have to sit back and go, wait, I'm not as good as I thought I was, because you're not. There's always, that better DJ, but that doesn't mean that you can't, be just as good or just as exciting. But you need that reminder every once in a while that, come on, dude, you can do better. Always keep doing better. Excite yourself, get it. And I think that's one way of getting a good slap in the face and hearing another guy, or, feeling good about, listening to somebody else's set. You're not hearing your own shit over and over and over again. That's another thing.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, what got you in? Go ahead.
If you're playing at the same spots on a regular basis, it definitely gets monotonous. I did that for quite a few years, and it was tough. I had to make sure that I forced myself to change things up on a regular basis to really please myself. It's not even to please the other people. It was really to please me mentally.
Yeah, well, you want to know that. You can only imagine. It's you've maybe even heard it from other people where they'll be like, man, I know what he's going to play next, kind of thing. And you could be that comfortable. Yeah. But if you're a person who cares about the other people, if you care about your, what product you're giving, you want to stop and think, how can I better this? Because I can't imagine, that they're going to be happy hearing the same 40, 50 tracks, maybe mixed up a little differently, but the same tracks because they work. No, you need to, go a little further. You need to change things up. You need to maybe open up different folders, in your, whether it's Serato or whatever, and test things, see which direction they're going to take you. You got to be bold. You got to, be a little more, not predictable.
Yeah, you definitely need to take chances.
Yeah.
There's a time and a place for it for sure. And if you take that chance, you better have something ready to go if that chance doesn't work.
How often have you taken that chance that you feel was like just a fucking terrible idea? And
a bunch of times.
And
Almost every night.
well, yeah, you know what's funny? Yeah, I think that every single night there's a point in my set where I will say to myself, bro, I'm gonna drop in this. I'm gonna play fucking, some old school, Rick James.
Rick Astley.
Or Rick Astley, and you drop it in.
Rick roll people.
And all of a sudden it was maybe a clean mix, whatever. It doesn't matter that it was a clean mix. People just didn't fucking react to it. And you're like,
yeah, because as much as we think we know what everybody wants to hear, we don't. We don't know what everybody wants to hear. We can look at people and we're literally stereotyping people as they walk in the door.
Oh yeah,
which is kind of a messed up thing if you think about it. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
We have to judge what we think you like to listen to based on what you look like, which is 100% stereotyping for them.
Yeah. And, I like to say that, you're probably going to be 70% correct in, most cases. It is what it is. The funny thing is sometimes you'll get like that person. I don't know if you know this kind of person that, is a hip hop head or only listens to radio music. And then all of a sudden they come up to you and they tell you, dude, no, because the other day I was at Space listening to and they're going to name some random DJ that's, like one of those guys that nobody really knows about or, whatever, Coco Drills.
Yeah.
And bro, it was amazing. I was there till 7:00 in the morning. And to yourself, this guy never would listen to that shit. And not till 7:00 in the morning. And why did he just tell me this? To fuck with my head? Is it, to tell me because, sometimes I like to play a good house set and stuff like that. But I know that in most cases, playing open format, which is what I do, is what they'll handle. If I go off into like that journey, they go off and then it's that same fucking person who will tell me, yeah, man, because Coca Drills was fucking amazing. And I'm like, calm the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Yeah.
Space is a very specific place to go to.
And yeah,
so
I think that.
Go there.
Yeah, no, and half the time I think they just wanted to tell us that that's what they did, that they were not in their, they went out of their fucking comfort zone or something, and that's what felt cool. So now,
I honestly think when they do stuff like that, they want to feel a connection to you. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to connect with you because, you're a DJ. It is cool to be a DJ. I mean, it's very saturated now, and it has been for quite a few years, but it's still, kind of a fun, cool job to have.
Listen, I tell everybody, there's no job in the world that allows you to invite your friends to your job. It's like, hey, imagine you're at Kmart and you're like the guy that greets people. Hey guys, come over and hang out with me and bring some beer. And we're going to talk shit while I'm, greeting people. And, I'm going to probably hook you up with a few extra drinks.
Hang out at the Subway.
Come on. No job in the world. It's always frowned upon. And in our job, it's exactly what they wish you could do. They want to know that your friends are going to come. So,
for sure. Yeah.
So there's no other job in the world that does that. And, it's like, it's always a situation where I'm telling people, I'm going to be over here this, come by, man, hang out. It's like no other job. I there's nothing else. So, that to me, is it sells it big time. Now, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you something real quick. Well, how, because I want to get to the beginning of you. What made it happen? What made you say DJ?
It was originally a hobby. My dad was a vinyl collector, and we always had turntables or record players in the house, and eventually we had a DJ set up when I was probably, I think, 15 or 16.
Now, was that his idea or yours?
It was his idea. I hadn't even started DJing yet.
Oh, nice. Shit.
Yeah. So he had it in there, and I never really thought to do it. And then I started going to like warehouse raves and stuff like that in the late 90s, probably like, well, I guess mid to late 90s, 95, 96, 97 ish. And I started watching DJs. I started seeing how they control the crowd, because at raves and stuff, it's a totally different thing than a normal nightclub, especially back then. Like, the DJs definitely controlled the vibe of the entire place. So it was really cool to see people like Icy was, you know, the guy that I looked up to as far as mixing and stuff like that. So it was him and like, God damn. Like Tony Saline, I would say, Huda Hoodia, like I played a lot of old school breaks. Mike Sharp was on that list. I used to go watch him a lot.
So the breaks was something that was that was influencing you.
Oh yeah, big time. Like, I started really listening to music down here when I first moved down here. It was all like Power 96. It was like Miami bass, freestyle, a little bit of hip hop. So the influence was always the bass. Like, I always had the bass influence. I even played tuba in middle school and high school.
Oh, shit.
So bass is always it's in my blood.
No, definitely in your blood.
So that's really what got me into it. And then I really enjoyed the rave scene back then. And like I said, I really liked how the music made people feel, you know, and at the time it was a mixture of the music and other substances, but it was still like, holy shit, these people are extremely happy. They're having a good time. They're probably, you know, getting away from whatever reality that they have at home just for a couple hours, just for a few hours. They're going to go have a good time and enjoy themselves and be super happy. And I wanted to be a part of that.
No, definitely. And let me ask you, once you got into, you know, holding the equipment, playing with it, grabbing records that you liked and stuff like that, did you feel that you already understood what, you know, beat mixing, knowing your timing was, or did that come slowly to you? Did somebody teach that to you, or were you just watching and learning, you know, playing it by ear? How was that?
Yeah, mostly watching and learning. I mean, I already had music theory down, so
that helped.
You know, the 8 counts, the 16 counts, and you know, back then, like all electronic music, you had to know your stuff. You didn't read a waveform. You didn't have cue points, really. I mean, sometimes you could put certain cue points, but on a record, really not. Like,
and your first equipment was, what was your first actual, you know, DJ set that you were taking out or you know, doing your real play?
Well, my dad had Technique and like a linear tech mixer from radio show.
No shit.
And they weren't the 1200. They weren't Technique 1200s. I can't remember.
But were they direct drive or belt?
I'm pretty sure they were belt drive.
You know what? Can I tell you? My first turntables were belt, and something about not having that perfect turntable that, you know, that was harder to skip with, that would give you that whole easy push. It's nice to not have that, just, you know, because some people start with the best. And in my case, I started with realistic turntables, and, you know, they had pitch. It was a little wheel. You know, my realistic mixer was only just an up and down, and it didn't even have a fader, you know, and it was what it was. But what I enjoyed is that once I got to the Technique 1200s, they actually felt hard. They were like, I can't get comfortable with this incredible piece of work, because I'm used to the belt and pushing, you know, ahead, you know, and all this stuff, you know. So I think it kind of like then gave me more game, you know, and more excitement, you know, because anytime I would get my hands on techniques, it was beautiful. It was like a moment.
Yeah, it's like a walk in the park, you know.
It was definitely incredible. And what was your first club, your first, you know, or bar, your first moment where you got that gig that felt, you know, I'm in a different place?
First actual gig was, oh,
That's a hard one when you've been working.
Trio nightclub. That was way back when. It was on Commercial Boulevard, just east of Federal Highway.
Bring the microphone closer to the mouth.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once.
No,
yeah, so it was Trio nightclub.
Trio,
which was yeah.
Wow.
I don't know if you remember. How long have you been down here? Are you born and raised here?
No, I was born in Cuba, but I mean, I got here in 1980, and I saw Trio. I definitely DJ'd, and I think that one time there was a Playboy party, and I got whipped by some girls at Trios. That's that
was wild, man.
It was a great.
Trio was wild, but it was I did the all age parties there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it was fun. I was still kind of young, like probably 19 years old, I'd say.
And just to ask, how old are you now? If you don't mind.
Yeah, I don't mind. 41.
Okay, so what? You're still young. Okay, good. You still got time. Still got time for this.
I'm somewhat young.
Listen, you look a lot younger. You do look a lot younger, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I tell people that there's something about being a DJ, and the ones that I know personally, that they maintain better. And I'm saying, even in my personal case, I like to say, with all the alcohol, drugs, and late nights, and bad food, and everything, I think that that's all bullshit. Sometimes with this whole diet thing, because I have felt younger than most. Most guys. I'm 47 now, sorry, and I see guys my age, and I'm like, I'm not that guy. I don't know if I'm not trying to, fuck with myself or bullshit myself or anything. I'm just like, I see these guys, and they really look old in front of me, for that matter.
Oh, yeah.
And the way they think and the whole thing, I think that kind of, like, I don't know, it brings more life. It keeps you younger. And it keeps you, I don't know, more agile, more prepared. The I don't know, understanding the late night, lifestyle, and the parties and everything. I feel that it's done that. So
yeah, I think that your state of mind definitely goes from inside to outside. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I still sometimes act like I'm 20 years old. You know what I'm saying? And I'm responsible. I've got 4 kids. That
was going to be my next question.
Career. Yeah, I got kids, man. So I have to be responsible, but at the same time, I like to have fun. I'm a fun guy. I'm a different kind of dad. I'm a different kind of person, and I think a lot of DJs are just different kinds of people.
Well, that's definitely very true. And how has that impacted your work?
It's made things a lot harder. My son's 15, my oldest. And I have 3 girls that are 12 going on 13, 7 going on 8, and 2 going on 3.
Oh, wow. Dude, you've been busy.
Yeah. All 3 in December, within a week of each other.
Fuck, Christmas has to suck in your life.
So crazy. Dude, it's so crazy.
That's got to be insane. Oh, I can't imagine. I have a son, and he is 22, and he lives up in New York. Throughout the years of me DJing, he was a fan, and it was all cool. And when I was doing Grand Central and stuff, I got to introduce him to a lot of great artists and everything. I did have to kind of like hold him back from some of the reality, because as much as there's sides of it that you have to learn how to control, and it's not for your kid, the whole thing. But
yeah,
I think that he turned out all right. He hasn't caused me one problem. I was way worse. I mean, I was getting arrested and all that.
I was such a bad kid. Yeah, I was a horrible kid, and my son is definitely a lot better than I was. He's kind of a little naive almost, mostly because of his mother. She kind of holds him back from certain things. Like, He doesn't even have like a Twitter or Instagram or Facebook.
That's great. Hey, let me tell you, great that you could do that. I mean,
it's good and bad because he's a baseball player, and a lot of times you can gain followers and gain like a good reputation off of Instagram, off of Twitter, and posting up all these videos or pictures or whatever. And people see that. Colleges look at that nowadays. You know what I'm saying?
You're
it's
correct.
Crazy.
No, and one thing I was going to mention is that you are now speaking from the other part I was going to mention that I've noticed you know how to handle very well. Marketing.
Oh, yeah.
Your social marketing is very, I'm going to say it, it's very proper. It's not overdone.
I hate my social media marketing.
Well, and you know what?
I think it could be way better.
Oh, I'm sure you think that's one of the problems with people that usually do things well. That it's never going to be great. It could always be better. But coming from the side of a guy who messed with Photoshop, had an advertising agency for 15 years, and understands advertising and understands marketing and everything, but yet doesn't do it as well as, you know, back my last website that I made was on Front Page. So, you know, I should say,
oh wow.
No, yeah, back then.
Been a while.
Yeah, so, you know, things like that. You know, I just mess around with it a little, but my thing is that I do understand that I have to be always reminding people that you exist. Just like in real world situations, you know, you should show up to places and, you know, shake a few hands and everything. You have to remind people you exist, and you're only as good as you remind people you are. You know, it's you don't have to bullshit them. You just have to show them what is happening in your life and let them be the judge, you know, because they are gonna at one point hear you.
Yeah, I think the perfect example of that, you know, just making sure your face is there and showing up and being a part of the industry. I think Nano is probably the biggest person in Miami that he's always out. He's always showing his face. His Instagram's on another level. Like he's built that up over the years, but like he's a fun dude to be around. He's always partying. He's bringing in people. He's going to all the places and being seen, and that gets him booked.
So he's the fucking unicorn.
Something like that.
Yeah, because it's very hard to do that.
He's such a super charismatic guy, really nice dude. You know, and he has fun. He gets on the mic when he's DJing, makes sure the crowd's into it, and you know, like you said, you got to show up.
You do.
You know, even if you're off, you're going out. You know, shaking hands with the managers. You're shaking hands with the bartenders. You know, the cocktail waitresses, whoever. You're going out and you're meeting people, and it goes kind of how I tell people: the more people you meet, the more opportunities you have.
Of course. Oh, wow.
You know, you could be the best DJ in the world and sit at home and you're getting zero opportunities because you're not meeting anybody.
And never, ever be seen, never heard of, and your skill set could be the most amazing. No, you're 100%. It's one of those things where, you know, I like to always say, if you don't let enough people know about what you're doing and kind of like, you know, just speak to people, you know, being able to grab those clubs and bars and everything don't just happen. You're gonna go through so many different kind of hurdles. Sometimes you gotta over push. Sometimes you gotta meet somebody at another party before you get to this place and then maybe even that great club that you were thinking about shuts down and it wasn't that one. Maybe it's the next. But you never stop pushing to meet people and man, one thing that should naturally come from everybody and try your best is be nice. Be nice to everybody. You know, just be friendly. Oh, yeah. It doesn't hurt to smile and, you know, walk into places and just, you know, you don't have to overkill. And, you know, that's one of the things I was talking about earlier is, you know, I don't know how you feel about this, but you tell me. I don't like to overstep my boundaries in what I do and how I do it, in the sense that I'm a DJ. I don't talk about other business with management. I don't get involved. I try not to even sit there and mention things. I just try to walk in early, get my shit together, test my equipment, You know, be ready. So when they tell me, hey, you ready? I'm ready. You know, that things are going to work. And then the only thing you'll hear from me is that if I walk away to grab a drink, I try not to even piss. It's one of those things where I try to never leave. How was that?
Dude, I've had so many instances where I had to pee in cups.
Oh, yeah. And you have to, because you're pushing that limit and you know you're on fire at some moment. And it's like that bathroom break might be long because you don't have your own private bathroom. You know,
So I have a pretty good story.
Oh, go for it.
About a year into DJing at 11, I had to go to the bathroom really, really, really bad. And I'm like, all right, let me put this song on. It should be long enough. I start walking back, and it ends. Dead silence. I had to run to the DJ booth.
Oh, is that God. The most painful feeling? That's a heart attack.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you. I've never had that happen to me.
Yeah, one time. And then after that, like if I need to go to the bathroom, I either put like a quick mix on or I make sure I fast forward to the end of the song, make sure I loop the mix out just in case I don't make it back.
And that's
at least there's something going. It may not have words, it might just be a beat. But at least there's some sort of music going.
Silence is your enemy. Yeah, no, silence is that thing you don't ever want.
5 seconds of silence is a decade. It's so bad.
It hurts. It hurts.
Silence is the worst thing in a nightclub for a DJ.
And you think about it. No matter what the situation, something happens with the music. Man, does everybody know how to turn their necks right to you? And it could have been anything. It could have been. And you're like, what? Come on. How fucking old are we? It's like when the glass breaks and the bar, you're like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Shit happens.
The worst thing is when it's not your fault. I hate it. If it's not my fault and it's the equipment's fault or something like that, I just...
and there's no way of fixing that problem because if the equipment is like your arm, it's you. It's connected to you, and you got to take that fall. You have to, no matter what the situation. Yeah, I used to DJ at this place for Y100, and I remember that they had the Denons, the old ones. Drop the CDs, the little wheels, the 2600s.
Oh yeah.
And one of the things that would happen often is that I never knew the other DJ. But the other DJ, he was Jamaican, or he played, a lot of Jamaican music and stuff like that. And so I think he's Jamaican. He would grab the CD before putting it in and lick it.
What?
Yeah, that's exactly.
That is very odd.
That's fucked up. Off the bat, that's just.
I mean, when I play on turntables with records, I lick my fingers to get traction.
Of course. That's like a football player with a ball. Yeah,
licking a CD.
There's no point to that unless. Listen, I might understand if you needed to wet it with something because there was a smudge, and then you grab your shirt maybe, and you felt that could fix the problem. But this guy was just randomly licking CDs. I went to see him play, and man, it was the busiest fucking night. That it was one of those Jamaican nights. I was crazy, and I went back there and I hung out in the booth because I was afraid for my life. It's one of those where I was like the only white boy, and I was like, no, I felt I'm Latin, and I felt extremely white. That's how I just felt.
Yeah. Imagine. All right, so I used to be in love with dancehall reggae. So I used to DJ at reggae parties. So they would come and they would see me walk in and go to the turntable, to the DJ booth.
What the fuck?
And
albino.
Really funny. I used to get so many looks. But then I would play and they would all be like, oh, shit. And it's like, that's that stereotype that I was talking about before, where we have the stereotypes of patrons, they're stereotyping me. And I'm like, look, all right.
Yeah, it's like when somebody said you look like a DJ, and I'm like, what does a DJ look like? In all reality, I've heard it a few times. No, yeah, you look like a DJ, and I'm like, really? Fuck, some people tell me
That's
when they
funny.
don't know what I do for a living that I look like a cop. I'm like, okay, I get that one, maybe.
Really?
Yeah, I get those weird
Yeah.
people coming up to me. But yeah, it's crazy. It's the like you said, the stereotypes and everything, and the hard part, which is reading a crowd, especially
Yeah.
when, because I say that reading a crowd when a club is packed, it's not really reading the crowd. It's now you're just keeping them going. You almost, do you notice that when it's packed, you can barely ever go wrong?
Oh yeah, for sure.
You're on fire. You're feeling on
That's
fire.
when you can really, really, really take chances.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, definitely. That's the moment when you do want to take a chance, because even if you fuck it up, you have enough momentum to come back. You're not gonna empty that dance floor like it's gonna stop and everybody's gonna look at you and say, "Oh, what the fuck," and they leave. But having an empty place where, for example, it's not their busiest night. There's other places around, and you have to pull from the block. Where maybe it's like the Himmershey area, where you got you got people walking, and it's all about fishing. You're fishing. If you got that right song, maybe they're gonna walk in. If the vibe is right, they're gonna walk in. It's I like to say a certain percentage DJ, another certain percentage is atmosphere. Who's at the door. How does it look? How does it feel? How does the door entrance, show you? Does it invite you? All that stuff. But then, you get them in, and now you have to not just read the crowd. You have to kind of like almost manipulate. You have to feel like, you have to look for that girl who's crazy, who's going to be your first dancer, the one that gets out there. You're playing that game of like, who's going to be the person, who's going to make this night all of a sudden start popping, and more people are just gonna, walk in? Or am I gonna play that one song that tells that big ass group, hey, let's go next door, bro. I fucking hate this song, and you lose 15 people. The nightmare.
Yeah,
that's the nightmares that I have at night. When I'm sleeping, I think I have two kind of nightmares. One is that, and the other is that I'm playing vinyl, which I haven't played vinyl in maybe 20 years. And I'm looking at records, and they're all from a record pool, and they all suck. They're songs that nobody's ever heard of before.
But you only get like 1 out of 15 that's actually good.
Yeah, and I used to always be a part of record pools, and that's, I guess, going through all those records and listening to 100, and then you're like, man, I got 7. And I'm not even sure if these 7 are good. Maybe it's just that since they all suck so bad that I'm squeezing goodness out of these 7. So, there were times like that, and then you get that great track, whatever. But I have that nightmare where I'm just digging through the crates, and I can't find one fucking recognizable song to play. And it's going to end. The next song...
I think my biggest nightmare that I have constantly is when the song's about to run out, and I don't know what I'm going to play yet.
And that,
like, I get that all the time.
But you get that in all reality. It's there. I think that as a DJ, okay, we have thousands of songs, and we know that most of them are great. But why is it that sometimes choosing the next track is so fucking complicated that you're running out of time and you can't come up with a choice? And that's all DJs.
Yeah,
I don't think that there's anybody. Everybody suffers that in some way or another.
Yeah, most of the time, like if you look at my prepared folder, or not folder, but like section in Serato, I usually have like 30 to 40 songs in there, because I've had instances where I'm like an hour and a half into a night, and I think I've played everything. I think to myself, what the fuck? I don't have anything more to play. Like, I literally thought that to myself, and I started getting like such bad anxiety.
Wow.
And so I make sure that I'm constantly thinking like literally 10 to 15 songs ahead.
Good call. That's actually amazing. Somebody told me a friend of yours. I'm gonna say maybe acquaintance. I'm not sure if it's a friend or acquaintance, but that you have your music so fucking organized that it's fucking.
And the funny thing is that I don't think it is.
Once again,
I think it's like I think I could be way more organized. Mostly this year, like I was doing really good until my computer crashed and I had to redo a lot of stuff.
Oh, did you lose music?
That was extremely frustrating. What's that?
Did you lose music, or was it just a computer thing?
No, I didn't really lose anything. I had everything backed up on an external, but I wasn't using an external at the time.
Gotcha.
So I ended up starting to use an external. And then I bought a new external that was faster. So now I have 2 external hard drives, and I'm still like moving things over to the solid state. But it's still not perfect. I still have stuff on my older external that I use regularly that isn't on the new SSD.
Gotcha.
Which is, it's frustrating to bring 2 external hard drives, but you would think over the last 6 months I would have gotten that shit together, but
well, it was the perfect time to. I actually rebuilt my libraries 3 times over. And I'm
the funny thing is, I've been super busy this whole time. Like I've been doing yard work. I've had my kids a lot. So normally it would be like every weekend, or I had specific days worked out because I worked so much. But now I get them for a week, every other week, and it's fucking unbelievable. Like that is literally the best silver lining for everything that's happened over the last 6 months. It's been a crappy situation, but that has been unbelievable.
Yeah, no, there is a lot of stuff that you could say, man. That it gave me a situation that was very different. Just me alone with this podcast idea. I would have never even tested the waters, and it's. I'm not gonna lie to you. Never cared for radio. Never cared to even. I'm not the guy who likes to talk or anything. And you would think differently because I have no small talk. And if you want to talk to me about sports, I know zero about sports. I don't watch anything in sports. So if right now we got into it and you wanted to mention something, I know the Heat might have won a game. And that's as far as that goes because I read somewhere with the corner of my eye that's something about the Heat, and stuff like that. Just I think I treat almost every subject but sports. And that's the thing. I like science. I like music. I like. I don't know.
Most of my life is musical. I dabble in sports a little bit, but I couldn't really tell you a bunch of sports facts or names of players. And I know a handful of things when it comes to that stuff, but I don't really follow it. You know what I'm saying? I have other stuff that I need to do.
Yeah, that's the thing. I try not to put that time and waste it into stuff that doesn't interest me. I think that that's how I've always felt about the sports. I'm like, if I'm gonna enjoy it, I'm playing the game. If I'm just watching, I don't know. I've never been the watcher, the one who sits there on the side and thinks, oh, that's great, man. You did great.
Yeah, I mean, I love sports. I love to play sports. For a long time, I didn't watch sports specifically because I stopped playing sports when I was young, and I was very, very good at soccer. Soccer was my sport when I was young.
Fucking hate
and
soccer.
I could have done good stuff.
I played soccer for one day.
Good things with soccer, but life threw me what it threw me, and nothing happened. I moved down here. I barely got to play when I moved down here, and it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth when it came to that, and so I kind of stopped watching sports.
Now let me ask
because
you,
I felt that I could be a sports figure.
Yeah,
I was that good. I actually was a very good soccer player.
Wow, good to know. Listen, and you're great at what you do now. So hey, you're obviously a talented man. So and it's talent and hard work I think, kind of work together, because you could be very talented, but if you don't put the hard work into it too, I think they go hand in hand. And I think that, that's somewhere
Oh yeah.
in knowing you more now, I think that that's one of the things that you have good work ethic. You put in, the time into it. I hear the remixes, and stuff like that. And when I listen to him, I'm like, man, I really like what he did there. I like the transition of, the actual track and then working it into something harder, into that moment that's gonna fucking drive people wild. And I love the way you handle that transition. And I like that you play with so many different styles. Even as I heard you in the pool party, for example, you were playing a set for everybody. You were not, you knew your place of where you were on your set. And I like.
Yeah, and
No, go
I
ahead.
think that's a key that a lot of DJs kind of don't look at. Like, I try to please as many people as possible. As you saw in my Facebook post yesterday, you can't please everybody.
No.
I know that's going to happen. I learned that 10 times over, 100 times over the past few years. And, I just accept it. I play as much as I possibly can for what I'm looking at. So I look at the people, I see what kind of demographic I have, and then I play for that. Unless I'm booked specifically to play a specific style of music, I'm going to play for the crowd.
And if there was a specific type of music that you could be happy getting booked for, and for a 4-hour set, what would it be?
At a 4-hour set? I mean, basically every style of house music. No, I mean, I really love playing house music, and a lot of times it really depends on what mood I'm in, but I'm usually in the mood for house.
Well, let me ask you:
so I would probably do like from tech house to some bass house to
nice.
I don't know.
But you do enjoy mixing the genres of house.
Future house. Yeah, maybe a little future house mixed in. But I really love like a good solid tech house, like
you like high energy, which I notice, especially when you're mentioning like bass house. Bass house is fucking amazing since it's come out.
Yeah,
fucking love that sound. That's one of the things that I'm taking into, and I think that people don't accept it as much yet. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I'm not out there as much to really know, but God, I love it. I love the way that sounds. When a heavy bass track that we're not talking about breaks or anything. We're talking about just a good 4-on-4, and then a bass line that's like, fuck, where did that just come from? It's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I like a lot of things that mix in hip hop as well, and a lot of the bass house they mix in hip hop.
Yeah.
Style lyrics or samples or whatever. So I really enjoy that.
Yeah, well, that works a lot with the crowds.
A lot of it also has like a dubstep, like very gritty bass sound, which I love dubstep as well. So
no, you can tell because it's in your sound. It's definitely in your sound whenever I'm listening to stuff. And let me ask you, what do you use when you're working on your tracks?
Ableton.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I've been using that for probably 8 years now, something like that. Before that, I used Active Pro and Reason.
I started actually with SoundForge, and it was I had a Windows computer, and that blew up on me. And I bought a Mac, and then I found out that SoundForge would not work on a Mac, so I had to learn Ableton in 2 days. Because I would make the mixes for radio stations on on SoundForge, and then I had to learn how to do it. And I saw that Ableton, was very good for making mixes. And man, fucking amazing.
Ableton is extremely user friendly. I definitely recommend it to anybody. But just like I tell pretty much every single person that I've ever talked to, it doesn't matter. Pick a DAW to work with. Whether it's Pro Tools, whether it's Logic, whether it's Free Loops, Ableton, whatever. pick one and stick with it. Just
And,
learn that.
yeah.
Learn the ins and outs of that. Learn the shortcuts. VSTs are the same across the board.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? Like when you use a VST, it's going to be the same. It's just the ins and outs of that DAW that you're using. You need to figure that out. Everything else is literally just
imagination.
Your imagination.
Yeah.
Bringing the music to life. That's it.
Beautiful.
But you could use anything. You could literally just record yourself beating the drums or, hitting wood or anything. There's
street sounds, anything.
You can just record it on your phone and you could make a song out of it.
Of course. No, it's been proven. More and more you hear people just doing like amazing things, especially like, YouTube and TikTok and stuff like that. And you find out that these people are like creating incredible ideas. And, it's like there's nothing that could hold you back. If you think it, you could get it done. As a matter of fact, I just ordered with this microphone because I can't play any keys. I don't know. I think you probably can. You could play music.
Nope.
No? Look at that.
Nope.
So then I'm going to ask you, how do you make your melodies and things like that? Do you write them?
So what I do is I will pick a key and then I'll look it up on Wikipedia, what that key is, and then I will basically create a melody from that. I'm not playing it on the keyboard, but I'm pasting the notes in there, and then that's how it goes. Yeah. But if you really listen to most of my music, it's not very melodically complex. It's very simple.
Well, yes, of course. You're not going out there and playing some crazy piano solo idea or some shit like that. Of course, yeah. And
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of people do have very complex chord progressions. I mean, I bring up Zed. He's extremely talented and classically trained since he was a kid, but he makes good, simple music, but with complicated chord progressions, like Porter Robinson does too. And there's a lot of house guys that are very, very talented. I mean, if you watch Calvin Harris's videos, he shows you how he makes all the tracks, and he does all that shit by himself. He's unbelievable.
Oh yeah. He's got a great ear. I think that people see how easy it could be, and they say, hey, I could grab one of those little MIDI boards, grab some loops and stuff like that. Grab a sample from this song, grab this, and you could chop together something else. We'll call it something else because it's not a mashup. Maybe it's not an original. It's something else. It's a Frankenstein, if anything. And it could sound fucking amazing. It could sound amazing or it could sound like shit. But most of the time, what you're going to find out is that if you don't have that natural thing of understanding, how music flows, you're not going to fucking get it. And it's not going to be easy. And there's no MIDI controller in the world or anything that's making it simpler. I mean, yes, it's going to be easier to chop stuff together because it's not, working like back in the day with a reel-to-reel and chopping stuff up or, I did that, and it's like now to me, Ableton and, being able to do anything with, in seconds and copy paste is fucking just alone. That is a miracle. That is amazing.
Yeah.
So that's, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when you really think about where it all came from, and when I first really started getting into production, I looked into going to SAE and I took a little tour, and one of the stops was or one of the classes was taking reel to reel and piecing things together by cutting it and taping it together.
Oh, so you actually did it?
I didn't do it. I never went to SAE.
But you saw that. Okay.
I ended up just teaching myself everything. But
did you never went to any kind of school for music and anything?
I went to school for 2 months for graphic design.
Okay.
And then I landed a job that allowed me to learn while I worked.
Nice.
So I got pretty lucky in that aspect. And that's where I get the marketing background. I worked for a marketing company for like 7 to 8 years doing graphic design and web design and development.
Let me tell you, that is a gift that is insane because, having, giving people your ideas and having them work on it, it's not the same as if you could go ahead and put it together yourself. It really, first of all, it saves you a lot of money. And second,
Yeah.
these guys, some of the graphic designers, you're trying to, save a buck or whatever the case, you're going to get a lot of crap at times, or an idea that you're just going to have to stick to because the timeline, you're like, shit, I got to have it in now, or, my website's not looking good. I need, if you could do it yourself. I always say that there's a lot of the DJs that I know that are really good DJs and stuff. They're also designers. They're also a little bit artsy, and they've been able to go ahead and have that background also, which saves you, and and all
Yeah,
that.
a local guy that I think is talented as far as like DJing and music production, and he's also a very talented graphic designer. Is Cases. He does all his graphic design work.
And that's so important.
I love it. It's super clean and it's really nice. And his production recently has been phenomenal.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So I guess the art side, it kind of bleeds into the music production, the graphic designing, the taste in fashion, picking things, things like
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's definitely, it all goes well together. And let me ask you a final question. If forgetting, what's happening with the pandemic, that's, slowed us all down, and, the whole thing. What what is your future plan if, if it involves music? What do you see? Like, that question that, somebody in your family will always ask, where do you see yourself in 10 years? Or where would you like to see yourself? Yeah.
Shit.
10 years. Yeah.
Hopefully I'm alive. Just kidding. I mean, in 10 years, God, Montana. I want to be in Montana in 10 years for sure.
So you want that?
Hopefully,
to
Dad
take it
Joe's
easy.
T-shirt blows up and I can move to Montana.
It's funny thing that you mentioned Montana. I was looking at something today, and it's a black couple, and they bought like 41 acres in Montana, and they had T-shirts that said 41M, and I was like, man, it's somewhat. The funny thing is that with my wife, I talk about it, maybe getting, a Winnebago kind of thing and traveling and maybe seeing a different place to settle, because at some level of, knowing that, we have internet and we have availability to, play, maybe even in the future, I could play for the world, but be in a very quiet place where my separation is a room away, like opening a door, and I'm literally mountains, or a beautiful lake, something where there's nothing like that.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, I hope in 10 years that I'm still producing music. I want to do that forever. I'm never going to stop doing that. But I highly doubt I'll be DJing. If I am, it'll probably be sporadically, and
so you could say, I still got it.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, I really hope that.
Now, is it because of the hours, and stuff like that, knowing that DJs, the late night, or is it just because in general, there's an expiration?
I just want to slow my life down steadily. You know what I'm saying? Like, we live fast lives, man. Like, I especially burn the candle at both ends and have been for probably 15 or more years. And it wears on you, man. Like, I went into a deep depression like 10 years ago. I had to make a decision whether I was going to continue to do graphic design and web design and all that stuff, or if I was going to do music. And once I made the decision to go to music, and I cut half of my workout and half of what I was doing for the last 5 years, my body said, yeah, you need to slow the fuck down. You need to stay in bed, in your house. Don't talk to anybody. Like, that's what I was going through. Like, it was fucking tough. My body just shut down.
That's heavy. I mean, and yeah, there's one reality. Your body will tell you when it's done or when it needs you to fucking slow down. Yeah. So hey, I say
it was
listen.
a good, like, month and a half to 2 months that I barely talked to anybody. The gigs that I did have, I literally just went there and DJ'd and went home. I didn't hang out.
Well, being right now, and it's been for a few years. It's exactly that. People might think, they look at me and they're like, man, this guy's out and about and he knows everybody, he knows everything. And I tell people, I'm like, I don't know anything besides the place I'm at for the hours that I'm at. I get in, I do my thing, and I might hear the occasional, hey man, we're gonna grab a drink after, and I'm like, dude, that sounds great, man. And but I get in my car and I go home because home is beautiful to me. There's not one thing that I feel like I'm missing out on at that moment. I seen that. I've done it, and I've seen the extreme moments of it. And the nights that you're like, oh, I should have just gone home. Enough times. There's nothing waiting for me there. So without a doubt, I'll live vicariously through, their stories, when I get back the next day and they're, they can tell me all the fun they had. I'm good with that. Yeah. I'm, and I think it just came with age. I think that maybe, in your case, it might be the same thing. Experience, age, fulfillment, you see, you've done, you learned, and there's certain things that you're like, okay, that was enough of that. That was great, but enough of that too, and you keep what you like and you throw away what, was damaging.
Yeah. I mean, everybody honestly should do things that make them happy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As long as it doesn't harm other people.
Of course. No, 100%. 100%.
But do what makes you happy. You have one life to live.
How do you feel about
it the way you want to live it?
Yeah, and like, for example, how do you feel about the people that don't have knowledge of what they would like career-wise? I say to myself, I am loving what I do, and for as long as I can do it, I'm and I'm happy. I'm going to keep doing it. But there's people that I know that will tell me, I don't really know of anything that I would love to do. Like, they do the job, and that's what they know. They do the work, the work for a company or work for themselves, but doing something, that they just don't like at all. And like, I told you, I did advertising, and believe it or not, even though that could be a little bit of fun, and, you go to radio stations and you meet with people, television, you do graphic work, it's artsy. It was, to me, as doing that full time, fucking hated it. And I did not want to wake up for that. So one day I just said, I'm done. And they were my clients. I contacted them and I said, hey, find somebody else next week. I am done.
Wow.
And and now DJ is it.
Good for you, man.
But happiness. And man, let me tell you, work, no work, whatever it is, I could live with myself. I'm happy. Even when, times get rough and the whole thing, it's not so bad. There's no club that drives me crazy or some gig or whatever I have to do, that makes me feel like it's, I can't handle this. That to me is joy. That's incredible. I think I'll live a whole lot longer.
I mean, even with the struggles, like, I've had a lot of struggles over the years, but at the end of the day, I love what I do. I love my family. So that's my focus is that I focus on my career. I focus on my family. And
so basically you're telling the world and the other DJs out there that you could have a family. You could be a normal guy. You could be, easygoing, not crazy in the whole thing, and still be able to rock gigs and at some of the best places.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if I went out and was a social person 10 years ago, 12 years ago, or whatever, my career would definitely be further than what it is right now. Even though I'm a successful, local DJ and I've traveled a bit, and
you're definitely successful.
A lot of DJs know who I am because of my edits, remixes, and,
of course,
transitions and stuff like that. But to really be successful, the general public needs to know who you are.
Yeah.
financially successful, yeah, I make good money. I provide for my family. That's it. That's all I really wanted to do. I don't want to be a millionaire. It'd be nice to have a big,
Well, it's nice to be stress free of financial, things and stuff like that. If you could, know that you never have to worry about another bill, that's all great. That's maybe, but even millionaires worry about bills because, the higher you get, the harder they fall. Kind of, situation falls into place. One mistake could end everything. Everybody has. Yeah. So there's
everybody has issues.
That's very true.
It doesn't matter how rich you are. It doesn't matter how poor you are. You have good days and you have bad days. It's the bad days that you got to turn around. The good days, you appreciate those. The bad days, you got to try and figure out,
of course,
why it's a bad day and fix it.
Is there anything in your formula that you would like to share that maybe you think for the other DJs, the ones that are trying to get in, to any kind of get out of maybe the home DJing or, party, private party DJing, that they want to get into more of a club gig, bar gig, where there's that kind of excitement that they should be doing in order to get into that direction?
Like we said earlier, go out and listen to other DJs that are doing what you want to be doing and see how the crowd reacts to what they're playing. And from there, you need to meet people. You got to meet people. You got to go out. You got to meet people, whether it's a promoter, whether it's a manager, whether it's a bartender, whether it's a door guy. You never know. You never know.
You never know who's that person that, I've gotten so many gigs from them.
On what's going on.
Yeah, it's very true.
You never.
It's very, very true. You don't know who the person is. I give my card to everybody that tells me, whether they're telling me that they own a nightclub or they know somebody. I'm like, man, great. I appreciate that. And, maybe the card went to nothing or, but the conversation stuck and you don't know, you truly do not know who that other person that's going to then tell you or text you and say, hey, buddy, remember me? And there you just built that next gig, that could be an incredible one or it could just be another one that just lasted a one night, and then you keep going.
Yeah, I mean, you could give out 100 business cards, and that 101st is a month-long residency in Ibiza.
Well,
truly can. You never know. You don't know.
Truly can. No, it's listen, just so one quick story. I love Red Bull. I love the way it tastes. When I first, tried the product and didn't know anything about it. And I said to myself, I want to know more about this product because, God, it's great. And I looked them up. I saw where they came from. I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to email these guys and just let them know that if it ever came to be that in Miami, they were looking to do a party or something, or, they were looking for a club DJ that, actually liked their product and, felt good about it because they were not known at all. And I felt like reaching out. I never had done that before with any company. And what was it? Like a year and a half later, I get an email. Hey, we're moving to Miami and we're thinking of having somebody do this thing called the Red Bull Music Academy. And I don't know if you've heard of the Red Bull Music Academy. Well, I was one of the guys. They called us Mr. X. And basically what I would do is I would go to nightclubs to find those DJs that stood out. The ones that were fucking amazing, that you're like, man, this guy is above the rest. He's got something.
Yeah.
And I would talk to them about the Red Bull Music Academy and see if they would be interested in filling out information so that maybe they could be a part of it. And in my year, it was in Ireland, so it was all set up to go to Ireland and then New York. And beyond that, they would throw all these incredible events my way. So I was DJing for Red Bull. They would promote any party that I would DJ. They would give me not just money, but they would give me all the product. And they didn't even want their name put on because they were very, back then they were hush hush. They wanted to just be in the nightclub, people drinking it with vodka, and they didn't want it almost anywhere. It was not going to be in a Publix or anything like that. They were cool as fuck, and man, I traveled with those guys, and
that was in the like early 2000s, right?
Yeah.
Or was that later?
That was
I remember when I was doing spring break. With Baja Beach Club.
Wow.
We would see the Red Bull cars all driving around and doing their thing. But that's when, nobody really heard of Red Bull.
Yeah, and that's how they wanted it. As a matter of fact, when I would DJ, and they would give me that whole little bucket filled with Red Bull with a logo on the whole bucket thing, and they would have a really pretty girl stand right next to it, handing me, only me, Red Bulls, and if maybe one of my other DJ friends or something like that. And if somebody would say, "Hey, what is that?" They're like, "Oh, it's Red Bull." "Oh, can I have one?" "No, actually, it's this is only for the the DJ." And they would
That's crazy.
Amazing. They were we threw a party,
but that would spark curiosity right there. Like if I saw somebody drinking something,
they wanted,
and I wanted to try it, and they said no. This isn't for you. I'd be like, what the fuck? I need to have that. I need to know what it is.
They made it very irresistible. Fucking people love fucking that. It was like, and here's the other one. They threw a party and they only invited like just a handful of people. And as a matter of fact, the way to get in, it was a Louis Vuitton bracelet. And
what?
Yeah, fucking amazing. Jeez. And the cool thing about the party is that nobody knew about the party until the day after. And all they saw were these amazing fucking pictures, people drinking Red Bull left and right in an abandoned warehouse. They had on the actual tables and chairs where people were sitting and couches, they had these little MIDI controller that would basically filter the DJ's music. So you could actually jump in and phase and filter some of the tracks. Like we would allow you to either the left or the right. So if I'm mixing, these beats and I wanted you to come in and go ahead and filter, you would flange and, echo and stuff like that. It was one of those that you don't have to touch anything. It was like, it would laser your hand.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It had just come out and it was a toy and they were like, this will be fun. Let's do this. And money was never an object.
That's cool. It
never held them back. And man, all that I got to experience it by just one email saying, "Hey, what's up, guys? What's up, guys?" A year later.
A year and a half.
Yeah. And the funny thing is that I was already DJing for Mountain Dew.
Oh, wow.
So I was traveling with Red Bull and Mountain Dew at the same time. And as a matter of fact, I was supposed to be doing the X Games in Orlando for Mountain Dew. And I had to send another guy with my name to act like me. To act like me. Yeah, so this guy, one of my best friends, I'm like, "Hey, listen, you're going to show up. You're going to say you're Hans. And I'll be back in a couple of days." So I went to New York. I did my thing with Red Bull. And they had Mountain Dew doing stuff in New York, which I ran into their group. And I'm like, "Dude, I'm not here. You did not see me." And then I came back, went to Orlando. Then I show up, and I forget that I'm doing this whole cover-up thing where there's Hans and, and I'm not supposed to now be Hans. Now I'm supposed to be the assistant. And I screw up, and I'm like, "Yeah, hi, what's up? I'm Hans." They're like, "Oh, my God, two Hanses?" I was like, "Yeah, isn't that fucking crazy? His name is Hans. I'm Hans." I'm like, "Dude, I fucked up."
What?
Yeah, I messed that one up, but nobody said a word. It was left alone, and man, years of fucking having incredible times. Incredible times, bro.
That's awesome. That was a great story. Hell yeah.
Well, once again, before we forget, I want you to tell everybody how they could get a hold of you. And I don't know if you're doing anything. I mean, we're all stuck in kind of, pandemic still, and, we're in phase 3. But if, there's anything you want to promote or any party or anything, let everybody know.
Yeah. So you can follow me at DJ Mr. MISTERGRAY, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that. It's all the same. And then I am actually DJing.
Nice.
I'm at Bodega in South Beach every Friday right now.
Beautiful. So it's a good gig. Nice.
Yeah, I'll be playing at On Saturdays, I'll be at 123 Datora in West Palm. Like this Saturday, I'll be there, and then in like a few weeks, I'll be there as well. And then I got a place up in Vero that I play 2 Saturdays in October. It's called Filthy's. It's a cool little bar.
So definitely, there's enough people that
it's
from everywhere.
So it's way different up there. Like everything, it's 100%. You don't have to wear a mask. You don't have to do anything. It's
I love it. I think I'm thinking about moving to West. Moving to West Palm. I'm telling you, man.
Oh,
yeah.
And then the Hidden Garden opens up this week, which is on Las Olas, real close to Rocco's Tacos.
Oh, nice. We'll be partners and we'll be neighbors.
Yeah. So
Nice.
I'll be there for Sunday brunches.
Oh, very beautiful.
And then I think this Sunday I start Roxy's in West Palm on Sunday night.
So yeah, you're definitely getting your hands full all over again, which is great. It's showing us that there's survival after all this, and I'm imagining I'm looking into the positive side of things and thinking that this is all slowly just disappearing, that it's just being pushed under the rug and forgotten about, and we're gonna move back into being able to make money again. Because I don't get it.
I think most places will be open by Halloween. I know Capone's in downtown is supposed to open this week. Most places like Blues Garden's opening up this week as well.
Nice.
A lot of places are opening up.
Shout out to Alex.
Backyard, actually. I might start DJing there once they can go later. They redid all their stuff, and it's really cool. It's a fun spot.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so what used to be America's Backyard is now called Backyard.
Okay.
But they have like a live band for like early evening.
That's an amazing spot. I've always loved that spot with the whole revolution when they had Stash and I think they still do. I mean, and America's Backyard. And great people, by the way, and beyond that, just a cool spot. It's been around forever and ever and ever. I mean, I know that there used to be back streets or something back in the day. Right? That's before I could even go anywhere.
And then the chili pepper.
Yeah. Everybody at some point or another went and had a fucking amazing time at that place. So everybody knows. Yeah, man. I mean,
that place was the first club that I ever went to, which when it was called The Edge, I snuck in. And that was the first actual nightclub that I went to.
Oh, wow. So Mr. Todd Gray, Mr. Gray, DJ Mr. Gray. Hey, it's honestly been a pleasure talking to you. You're exactly, you know what? You're exactly how I pictured you, and personality, great guy, down to earth, and very talented DJ. So it's been a pleasure talking to you. I'm so glad we met the other day finally. And I'll be definitely seeing you soon. So, I'll stop by. I will, I got my 3 or 4 days a week going, but I like I say, I like to hear other guys. So I will definitely be stopping by and seeing you. Yeah,
man, you're always welcome wherever I'm at. And, hit me up whenever.
Sounds perfect. Well, brother, thank you again. And everybody, this is it. The shit show is over. All right, and that definitely was the shit show. Mr. Gray brought it. Lots of great things that he said. Gotta thank my boy Andy Tropical, my sponsor, All Permit Solutions Incorporated, as you have seen throughout the whole broadcast, because I like to go ahead and share the love. 305-970-0110. Once again, Mr. Gray, great time talking to him. And I'll definitely be bringing him back later, within some other time, because I want to follow his career. Awesome guy. If you don't know about him yet, now you know how to get a hold of him. And, enjoy, everybody. And we'll catch you for episode 9 coming next Monday, 8 p.m. Who will we have? Peace.